Welcome back everybody, day 13. Now today we're going to slow it down. I'm going to introduce you to Yin Yoga. It's basically longer held postures, shapes that you know, holding it for around 2.5 minutes. It's a minimum time that we want to work with Yin Yoga. And by doing this, the body goes into deeper relaxation response when we lay down at the end. The central nervous system has this beautiful release as the tissues are stretched at a deeper level within the body. So let's get straight into it. You can use bolsters and blocks and all these supports if you have them. I will try and teach the class as simple as possible for this first introduction to Yin, but we can basically do it on a floor without the need of props. Just some positions may require a rug or a towel just to support bones as they push into the ground. The first one we're doing is called half caterpillar. It's a forward fold, and the half comes from basically using one leg at a time. So right leg comes into the body. You can either have that foot touching into the thigh. Some of you may have that foot underneath the back of the knee. That's a way of keeping the knee bent without that intensity when you fold through. And we're folding forward. And so gently come through. Take some breath. Settle into the shape. Let the shoulders be soft. You don't have to be active in these shapes. You don't need to be reaching for the foot. You can just allow that chin to come to the chest. Again, even if you're upright, if you're quite high, trying to get the body just a gentle way forward, feeling a hamstring stretch under the back of that left leg. Breathing here. Settling in, just letting the breath move as it needs. If you have cushion, sometimes placing a cushion under this right leg to support. If you do not want a deep groin stretch or that knee dropping out to the side too much. Otherwise, being still. Scanning the body for any tension. Trying to keep the face, the teeth, the jaw, everything soft. Everything letting go. As you breathe, you'll feel the lungs work. Maybe in the back of the body, you can get the ribs expanded. Maybe you feel compression in that left hip, the belly. Maybe you're feeling and experiencing quite a deep hamstring stretch. Everyone's body is different. You may be experiencing just slightly in a different area. We are aiming for at least 1 or 2% of a stress, a healthy stretch through the hamstring. So if you need to adjust at any point to continue that stretch there, please do. You can let the mind just focus on the breath, the sound. Some people enjoy letting the mind wander, but observing the mind. Where does it go? What is it doing? Aiming not to be engaged with the story, but just observing the story. So next, I want you to breathe in and slowly come up. And we're going to swap legs. Right leg goes out, left leg comes in. If you've got a cushion there to support that left knee, folding over the right leg. It can be passive, aiming for 1 or 2% of a healthy stress through the right hamstring. As you breathe, the body's softening. Face, the teeth and jaw are soft, shoulders, the arms, the hands. And as the stretch progresses, for this minimum 2.5 minute hold, noticing if any other tension builds, or maybe you can breathe deeper just to let any tension you do feel arise. That breath allows it to soften. So 3 more breaths. Slowly come up with the next breath in, straighten both legs, and then that same right leg, we're going to bend it under. And if you can, try to bend the knee so the foot rests flat beside the hip. You may need to shuffle a little, lean back on both hands, or lean back on that left arm. We're aiming for a stretch through the quad. This one's called half saddle. Some people can come back on both hands. Some people can come down onto elbows or even all the way down. Just always be mindful of your joints protecting, especially in this shape, the knee. I've got a bolster. If you've got a cushion, I like to drop back onto my elbows. I'm feeling about 10% of a healthy stretch through the quad, and it sometimes shifts up and down. There's no pain in the knee, there's no discomfort there. If the bone under the foot here feels at all painful, or that bone pushing into the floor, if you've got a rug or a towel, just to soften that bone pushing down, just sliding that underneath the foot and breathing. You can close down the eyes in every shape. It's more like a meditation. Again, as these tissues start to stretch a little bit more, the muscle in essence softens and we go deeper into the connective tissue that wraps around muscle, even into the joints, the ligaments of joints, which is the rope-like structures that tie bone to bone. Again, eyes can be closed. The breath can be soft, just scanning the body. And just take 2 more breaths here. Roll away from that bent knee. Gently let it stretch out. And then we're going to do the other leg. So you can sit up, tucking that left leg under. Again, the foot trying to keep it flat. That left hip may be up off the floor. Reaching back with the right hand or both hands to just support the body. As you lean back, that left thigh is going to start to feel stretched. Maybe you can come down to elbows, but it's not necessary. So it's never about force. Any kind of yoga, whether it's Yin Yoga or the Hatha Yoga we've been doing, the Flow Yoga, we never want to force the body because that will injure tissues and in essence take a lot longer for those tissues to heal, which means it can stop or inhibit our yoga practice. So again, as you breathe, making sure the knee feels safe, you feel that stretch in that left thigh. So I like doing Yin Yoga if I'm feeling tired, if it's night time and I'm sort of still charged from the day and I want to start to wind down. It's really beautiful for the nervous system. As you're staying still but you stretch the tissues of the body, When you physically stretch tissues, it will help to release not just physical tension, but mental and emotional tension the body's holding as well. That's a beautiful wind down. As always, if at any point anything feels a bit injurious or there's pain that's starting to come into your awareness, come out of the shape or just soften and ease back on that hold that you have in the stretch. One more breath in and out. Roll away from that left bent knee, so onto the right hip. Straighten the legs out. Just as a counter pose, just fold forward for a moment. It can be a nice gentle one. Knees can be soft or maybe they're straight. Slowly come up. And two options here. You can step the legs apart for those that have that ability, the wide legs and folding forward to get a groin stretch. If that's hard to come through, I'm going to take the knees wide. As we did the other day, that wide knee child's pose, dropping onto elbows or forearms and hanging out here. Some of you may be able to get lower, the chest sinking to the floor. Some of you may have the hips away from the heels, maybe over the knees, maybe you're sitting back. So wherever feels right for you, holding this shape, breathing, being still, allowing it to be a mindfulness meditation as well as stretching the body. And just taking another breath in and out. If you're folding forward, just slowly sit up, bring the legs together. And if you're in the wide knee child's pose, knees coming together and resting in child's pose. Where the head can rest on hands or fists, knees can be apart, softening here. And then we're going to lay flat on the floor. So I want you to stretch your legs out behind you, laying onto the belly. We're going to take the right arm out to the side like a wide V. The palm is flat and it's higher than shoulder height. You're going to look away from that arm, using your left hand, gently push over onto the right hip. You'll start to get a stretch in that right shoulder. Make sure it feels safe. The leg that comes off the floor, the left leg, maybe you can go way far behind, but rest the head on the ground. Make sure the head feels safe, the neck feels safe. We're aiming for a shoulder stretch as we breathe, trying to get that left leg behind you to take the body into a lower body twist. And breathing here, resting, Softening through that shoulder stretch and possibly that lower body twist. The head again can rest on the ground, or maybe resting the head on a pillow or the arm if that's possible. The left hand can support, can be pushing down to help keep that left shoulder back up off the floor into that upper body twist as well. Slowly roll forward, come back to the belly, and now we're taking the left arm out. So left arm, palm is face down. It's out to the side like a wide V. Rather than shoulder height, have it higher. Look away from the arm. Right hand pushes down into the floor. Head drops down onto the ground. That right leg, if it comes off the ground, maybe you can bend the knee and let it come way far behind you. And holding there, breathing. So we've got the lower body twist, as well as that left shoulder stretch across that joint. Maybe into the pec area, pec muscles, maybe into the arm area. And breathing. And just a few more breaths in this shape. One more in and out. And then just slowly release the body flat again. You can bring both hands under the forehead, resting the forehead on fingers. Even just turning the head to one side. And then just slowly now, we're going to come up into the Sphinx. Elbows under shoulders, hands out in front. You're feeling that bend in the back, in the spine, that extension of the spine. The head can be lifted. If you want to explore a bit of movement of the neck, side to side. If the glutes are on, even try to soften the glutes. There's another variation of this shape. If you're happy here, stay here. If you want to come up into seal pose, hands are pushing down, elbows are lifting. And it's a lot more strenuous, but we're aiming to get a deeper back bend, deeper compression in that lower spine as you breathe. Some of you will be able to really soften through the belly and breathe deeply there, expanding that belly, the abdomen as we hold the shape. If you need to come to elbows, that's totally fine as well. Some people even enjoy dropping the head forward and letting the back of the head lengthen. Just continue to breathe, be in the body. Feeling that compression in that lower spine. Maybe you're getting a stretch down the front of the body too, across the belly. And then just slowly lower down. Just let the body release. Head can rest on fingers interlaced or turn the head to one side. Take 3 breaths here, gently in and out. So we're aiming to feel this rebound of the body after holding a shape. We're going to roll onto our backs. In essence, this can eventually be a longer rebound if you feel like laying here longer, even when the video is finished. Please do. Just letting the body now absorb the benefits. That Shavasana. Feeling that breath gently move in and out of the body, making sure you feel at ease as you rest, release and let go into the floor, feeling totally supported by the floor. Just take a nice deep breath in, side out. Wriggle fingers and toes, lift the arms, stretching above the head. Roll to one side, you can arch the body, you can push up from the side or rock your body up. So we slowly come back to the space. So close the practice as you inhale, the arms lift up, integrating the body and mind, the hands coming to prayer at the heart, that center for respect where we give and receive from. So we bow in thanks. And I'll see you tomorrow.